Thank you all for being here. Thanks for coming to our is it gala or gala? I don't know how to say it.
Gala.
Too fancy of a word
Tomato,
for me.
tomatoes.
4 letters and I can't say it right. So thank you. Thank you for being here. I want to talk about a few things today, and mostly just want to run you through this. I'm going to talk about, first of all, theater in Forest City was born in 1973 as far as we're concerned. And its parents that put it together did a great job, very, very proud of it. They named it BrickStreet. And what a cool little company that it turned out to be. And they named it BrickStreet because Clark Street here and several of the other streets used to be paved in brick. And in fact, if you keep going to the far north end of BrickStreet of Clark Street, you'll find that there are just a tiny few bricks remaining down there, holding on for dear life. And so we thought it would be. I wasn't even born yet. They thought it would be pretty cool to name it BrickStreet, and I think that name has stuck around pretty well. So let's walk through the life of BrickStreet Theatre so far, because it has quite an interesting story. How exciting it was in 1973 when they did their first production, and it makes sense because it was just like this little baby that came forward into Forest City, and the first production's name was, anybody know?
Kinky Boots.
No! Shockingly, no. It was Pure as the Driven Snow. Right? Pure as the Driven Snow. So I don't know anything about that show. I just did my research. Not very well. Quickly did research. Pure as the Driven Snow. And so from that little melodrama, they went on and performed show after show after show every single year until 1986, which makes sense because in 1986, BrickStreet was now a teenager. And teenagers don't listen or have interest in any of the things that their parents had an interest in when they were growing up. They were proud of all the cool things that they did and the songs that they sang and the shows they put on. But now they're 13, I'm going to go do other things. And that kind of makes sense because the same people that were putting it together and had made it go so well for that long had probably also the same situations, teenagers of their own. It was the mid-'80s, and so there's baseball and softball and life and everything else. And then there's a little bit of a break, which is okay. So BrickStreet grows up on its own, just hanging out, and you wonder what it's doing. It shows up in 1999, which is another 13-year break, which I think is, don't be triskaidekaphobic, it's going to be all right. We get into 1999, and this is where I get to be involved in the story a little bit. BrickStreet's now 26. So my opinion of 26-year-olds is what we all were when we were 26. Got your first real job and you're done with college. You're the smartest person in the universe. You got the most talent. You're the best looking. You're in the dating game. Maybe you're married. Maybe you're not. It is 26. It was a great time.
It's not that great.
It is. That's right. Come on. You just... Wow. We'll come back to that. What do you think, Ray? That's right. Yeah, you're right there, Ray. You're right in. Ray, she said, what's that all about? Okay, so 26, I just happened to get back from Korea at the time, and this lady that I'd known my whole life, who was involved in BrickStreet Theatre from the early days on, and been an influence and a friend of me, and I'm a friend of her son, is Mary Beth Woolridge, who's here, right over there. Right over there. She was not the only one, though. Mary Beth's a very powerful lady. She may not. Don't be fooled by her. She got a hold of me and told me to come over, and we were going to have some wine at your house on 4th Street with you and me and Pat Benda, and I'll never forget it was just so it's 1999, so I'm 25. Right?
Don't ask how old
I know you were like 30.
And Troy, I am recording.
Yeah. So there we were, and we sat around, and they decided, they tricked me into saying we should do BrickStreet. We should have BrickStreet. Bring it back. And so we did, and they made it happen. We did 2 shows. So like a lot of things that some 26-year-olds start, and I'm going to include myself in that. A lot of fire, vim, and vigor, and energy, and then on to another thing. And 2 years later, we were not doing anything again. But we had got it going. We did a funny thing happen on the way to the Forum that summer, and then we did a Christmas Carol, which I'm so happy that we'll be doing that again this December, and we'll be doing it.
Good script. We still have it.
So do I, and that's what we're using.
He wrote it.
Of course.
Did you know I wrote A Christmas Carol? Okay, Charles Dickens wrote it. But I adapted it. Thank you. Yeah. Anytime there wasn't a direct quote, I just had to make it up, and it seemed to work out all right. So we'll be using that BrickStreet owned version of A Christmas Carol in December. So we're pretty excited about that, and Julie Keeley will be directing that. So then we had a little break again until 2005, and we did a couple of movies, 3 movies. Three movies, 2005, 6, and 7 in that.
5, 7, and 8. The Journey Tree.
Was that what? Yeah.
2005, 2007 was out to pasture, and 2008 was out to Vegas. So we filmed third of it out. Actually went to Vegas.
And Jim knows all this because Jim, our president, is on the Iowa Motion Picture Board.
Iowa Motion Picture Association president. And loves film. Been in a zillion things. Got a fantastic camera or a phone full of awesome pictures and stories. And we worked together on some of those things. But it was a different time. So again, now we're into our into that period. We're into our late 20s, and we're experimenting with different things, going different directions, seeing where we're getting. And that's what BrickStreet does. So then we take a break again until 2015. All right? So in 2015, how old are we? Before I answer that question, how old is BrickStreet? What is the answer to the life, the universe, and everything?
42.
We're 42.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're 42 in 2015. Does anybody know why 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything?
Because you are.
Douglas Adams wrote a book, and that was a question, and then the computer came up, and the answer is 42. So that's a thing. So we can tie a lot of cool things to 42. I'm not going to get into numerology or anything like that, but it seems to be a complete number if you go like 13th power or something like that, and 10s and things like that, and all kinds of crazy other things. Did you know that Scully Mulder's apartment number was 42? Weird stuff. There's like a whole list of stuff about 42 that you'll find out there. Anyway, we're 42, and we decide, this lady over here, who's not complacent with 26, I guess, she says, let's do a show. Let's get BrickStreet going again. Her family puts together Linnea, the Fredericksons. They get everybody together. They talk. Mary Beth is involved in Patrick. You guys are kind of saying, hey, we'll get her going, but we want to be, you guys take it from here. And thank God they did, because they put on this show. What was the show again? You know it was my favorite show in the world, right? I thought it was crazy, and you guys did an awesome job.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, you did. So that type of vim and vigor is what got it started again. But this time they did things right, because now we're 42. And 42-year-olds have a little different picture of how things are supposed to be put together. We've got our experience in childhood. We know we like theater. We've had all those experiences as we go through the 80s and the 90s. We had our little breaks, and then we get in. Now we're 42 and say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to become a 501c3. We're going to become a nonprofit. We're going to have a board, and the board's got to be big. It's got to be involved. You can't have the same people on the board forever. It's got to be rotating terms. And then you got to continue to grow that board, and you got to involve kids. You got to have kids, because if everybody knows, kids equals butts and seats. But also, kids are how you build your continued program, all right? So we're 42, and we got kids, and we're happy about it, and we're rolling with it, and we did Carousel, and then they followed up with Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and you can see what we've done ever since then. We need to get better at maybe getting all the other stuff that we've done and get them on our wall. So now at 45 years, as we roll out, and we're almost done with our suit. We're one day into our summer show, which is fantastic. I've heard. I've heard it's fantastic.
It went very well. Yes.
It went very well. And then we got tomorrow night at 7, and we got Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Is Sunday at 2 o'clock?
Yes.
So everybody else is at 7 o'clock. All right. So we hope that if you haven't seen the show, that you go see the show. You tell as many people about it as you possibly can. Because here's what we've learned in 45 years from what I can put together, is that it all is on the audience, right? It seems like we can't do a show without the community. So community theater is really about everybody that comes and sees us. And those are the same people that get excited, and they become our volunteers. They pass the word around on social media.
which did not exist in 1973 or 1999, right? And word of mouth and all of that stuff is how this all happens. And it's really going very well. And so if you wonder where the term surprisingly good comes from, every time that we were, well, it was a marketing meeting we had a while ago, thanks Joy, and I thought it was a funny thing, because when you walk out and you hear people say, it's community theater, so okay, here we go, we're gonna have to use, you know, Sally's hat that she donated and all of the crazy things that you have to do. But you know what we've seen in BrickStreet, what I've noticed is that there's such high quality talent in the directing and in the sets and in the acting and in the singing and in the painting. I mean, just everything is amazing. What's so cool about theater is that it is the combination of all the arts put together in one thing. And you bring together and you tell a story, and that's what humans really appreciate, is a way to suspend your disbelief and just tell a great story. So you should leave there affected. And the affectation that I could figure out when people would leave is they go, oh, that was really good. Jan Hertzke told me that was as good as any show that I've seen on Broadway. And I'm like, Jan, how many shows have you seen on Broadway? I don't even know. That's surprisingly good is what it ends up being. And I don't know why they're so surprised, because just look around at all the people in this room that care about BrickStreet Theater, and all the people, the 104 that we had today in the auditorium, and hopefully the hundreds and hundreds more that we have the next few days of this production and into our new production in the new facility in December. We're so thankful for all of our community members, so thankful for everybody that is a part of it. We always need volunteers. We always need board members. My term's up in 2 years, and then I've done 2, I'm out. I can't come back for a while. Jim, you're the same way. We can come back later. That means we need people, and my other job is I recruit people, so. And be a part of those things, and we just want to continue to see our kids develop in BrickStreet Kids. We want to see, we want to do more for the community. We talked about acting classes, we've talked about fun stuff, we've talked about more community things, but we know who we are. And that's the cool thing about being 45. You pretty much got it figured out who you are. We want to do things right, we want to do it well, we want to represent our community well. We want to give you an entertainment that you can appreciate, take something away from, and when you leave, you go, man, that was good. So thank you all for coming. I do want one more thing before I don't want to end it on a sad note. But one of our favorite people, one of my favorite people, who did a lot for our community theater and a lot for our high school theater, big part of who we were in Forest City and really who we are, is my friend Betty Schmidt, and she went and joined the Lord earlier this week. Funeral was Friday. Worked with Mary Beth a lot, worked with all of us kids, was a big part of my life, and it's people like that that care passionately about what it is that other people are trying to do and to advance their dreams and goals and ambitions. She was a great mom, she's a great lady, she's a great friend, so we're very,
and her costumes live on stage.
They absolutely.
Very often.
Costumes are still there. Yeah, several of them downstairs. Very good. All right, so that is a story. The last thing that I want to do is, if you don't know, I want to talk about what's coming up in 2019. Crazy to say that. 2019. So thankfully, Julie, yeah, come on in. Our artistic director. Says, if you don't know, this is Julie Keeley. Amazing woman, really makes things go around here. So put this on you here. She chooses, well, with the help of a committee, chooses our seasons, handles all of the business of what we put on stage, and just has true passion for what we do. So I want to give tremendous credit to you and thank you, Julie, for all that you do. And you would be the one. You had your time on stage. You kind of like it.
Yeah, but then I'm somebody else.
Can you talk? Will you tell everybody what we're doing in 2019?
We have a fantastic schedule for 2019. I am so excited. We already have directors lined up for 2 of the 3 shows. Thank you. They'd like to direct a show. We still have 1 left. We have 5 women wearing the same dress, which is a story. It's a comedy about 5 bridesmaids who kind of sneak away from the wedding, and they find out that they all 3 have this distaste for the bride, and they have this little gab session in one of the bedrooms, and it's hysterically funny. And that is going to be directed by Ms. Thompson. Yay!
And that's your first directing with us.
BrickStreet directorial debut.
That's what we like.
This is how we do it. And then, I don't know, this one you guys might not have ever heard of. Sound of Music. Big stage production in the Hanson Fine Arts Center. We're going to do it up, and we're going to do it up right. And it's going to be Linnea and Nathaniel. I can't think of any families that have talented singers.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I can't think of any.
And then we're going to round up the year with Elf the Musical. Yay! Fun all the way around. So, yeah. Thanks for coming to this. I appreciate it. This is wonderful. So, as Troy says, surprisingly good theater. Look at what we put together.
If you haven't gotten
the
your
last thing that we do, and it's not so the last by any means, you certainly do not have to leave. You're here for as long as you want to be, and there's plenty of food and drinks and whatever you want. Plenty of drinks. We have a thing called wine bingo. It helps us raise some funds. We're going to give it a try. So what you do is if you're interested in this, how it works is you pay $20. And then you go over, you get to pull one of these corks, which is it a number? You got a number on it, and